Hello, Welding the Welder back at you. This is Welding 135 aluminum class. I'm going to go over the Millermatic 350P push-pull gun for you in this video to show you how we're going to set it up, how we're going to use it, how it works. It's a little bit different than a regular MIG gun. It's different than a spool gun. We're going to go over some of the issues with that and how we're going to use it in the class. All right, so this is the push-pull gun here on the Millermatic 350P here. This is it. You notice it's a little bit different. It's heavier. It's a lot more bulky. It's got a regular Bernard bend in it. It's got a smaller trigger. Down here on the end, it has your wire speed. This is where you adjust your wire speed on the motor up top. And inside of here is the wire motor. That is the drive motor for the push-pull gun. The reason we call it a push-pull gun is because it is pushing the wire off of the unit and it is pulling the wire here. You can see you just take that over, it actually opens up the adjustment there so you can rewire it. It should clip back over, okay? The main thing here is when we're using a push-pull gun and you get a little stop up at the tip, don't just keep hitting the trigger. Don't just keep hitting the trigger down here. Like trigger, quit that. Don't do that, because if it looks good here, that probably means that it's bird nesting back in the machine over there. And that's the common problem we see here in the class is students just keep hitting the trigger down here when the wire won't feed out, and then it has become bird nested in the machine. So this is the Millermatic 350P that we'll be using for our aluminum push-pull class. We got 100% argon up here. Notice we got a plug. We're going to plug it in to the old units down there. Power off first. Inside the box here, just like a regular wire welder, it will have a spool. All right, this is a large spool, 33 pounds. It's going to be rigged up the same way. Only little note we have is right here. For aluminum push-pull welding, set drive tension below 1, no greater than 1, okay? And a lot of times we'll just flip this one off in the front and not let it do anything, okay? We got the wheels set. And what will happen is if you keep clicking that the nozzle, the push-pull gun out there, and it's not feeding, what it's going to do is it's going to squish out the side here and bird nest in. As you can tell by this machine, it's actually done that before. Those little marks there, those are little aluminum BBs and smoke. And if you look up on the inside of the door there, it's actually somebody bird nested it so much that it's actually arced off on the inside of the machine. Okay, so we want to avoid that. We want to avoid that. All right, so now for setting the machine up, make sure the power is off, main power is off. These actually twist together. We'll drop that one. We're going to leave that welding machine in place. Male to female. If you get confused, there's 2 arrows here that you can line up. Okay, they're spring loaded. You push it in, twist it, it's locked in, throw your power on. You can go in here to set up. Gun, we got the Alpha Max. Let's see if that's right. MIG, nope. Spool gun, nope. That's what it should be on right there. I don't know why it's not, okay? So we hit that. Pulse MIG. Yep, 3/64 wire. Normally we're not going to run a 3/64 wire. We're only running that wire in this one because we had it in for a qualification, and we're just going to use all the wire that we have. Okay. Run in is at 60. Don't really worry about that. Okay, I want to go back to not to the gun. Let's go back to the pulse MIG. This is where you could change it to regular MIG or pulse if you were doing regular wire, regular hard wire, ER70, S3, S6. Okay, And this is where you would change your wire speed. So when we go back to an 035 wire, we'll select that, okay? You can go to 364, so 035. There's some of your metal cores, your standards, okay? Things like that. We're not messing up with none of that for the aluminum, though. And your run-in, the run-in is at 50. That's not like a amperage or anything. That's a percent, okay? That's a percentage. Run-in would be 50% of what voltage you have it set at. So if you got it set at 24 volts, as soon as you hit the trigger, you're going to get half of 24 is 12. So you're going to get 12 volts instantly, and then it would ramp up for you. And then we're back to the to your arc length, okay? All right, for our aluminum push-pull gun, we're going to use 100% argon. Turn it on. Bottle's about empty, but we still got about 15 PSI. We're going to leave it on that 15 PSI there. Of course, you can adjust the regulator as needed. If you're outside welding in a windy environment, you may want to bump it up just a little bit to help with that. One thing I've noticed about these aluminum push-pull guns is they will kink up wire bad, okay? Aluminum is a soft wire. It's not like metal core or flux core where it's kind of rigid in there. You need to have a nice, long, steady curve coming out of your machine and in your booth. You don't want it doing this right here. You don't want that because it's going to be hard for it to push that aluminum wire. Yeah, you're still pulling it, but it's going to create problems for you. So just make sure when you're out in the shop that you got a nice big loop. You got 25 feet here that you can pull back into your booth and get ready to weld on. All right, so when we're doing this aluminum welding, we want to be using a push angle of our gun, not a drag angle like we normally do. We're actually gonna, this would be our start, trigger down, and push, a slight push. Okay, we're actually gonna back our nozzle and tip will back up away from the base metal just a little bit. You don't wanna be down close on it like this because that will weld that tip shut, okay? We will be doing aluminum T-joints in all positions, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we will be doing our flat plate first, you know, just regular surface and beads. We will also be doing a flat plate with aluminum TIG. And then we will be doing our aluminum T-joints in all positions. Flat, horizontal, vertical, and overhead, okay? So be tuned for that, be ready for that. Remember, the most important thing is to use a push method on the gun. Keep your base metal clean, keep your nozzle and tip about 3/4 of an inch away from the base metal.